Good morning, everybody. It's Maker Monday. This is the first time that you're tuning in. My name is Amy Howard, and I am part of a maker studio. We were just talking about in here, we should have a jingle that we should come up, some song that we talk about making on Maker Monday. So it's not a great day here in Memphis as far as weather is concerned. It's a little cloudy and it's been raining. But in the studio here, it's bright and shiny, and we are being creative. So if this is your first time for tuning in with us, we are a social selling company that is all about creativity. We have a lot of different categories, and one of the things that we're going to be working on today is our gel ink. So if you would, let's glance at just some of the colors of the gel ink that we have really quickly. So just to kind of let you know, what is gel ink? It is a proprietary product that we have developed to allow you to work in conjunction with our stencils and make and create and customize everything that is like fabric. We even use our gel ink on glass, on tempered acrylic, on metal, on wood, on paper. I don't have one of my paper. Here's a piece of stationery, messed it up just a little bit, but here's even where we can use ink on paper. You can use it on tea towels, pretty much anything you think about, clothing, that you can use these gel inks on. It's endless. So what we've tried to do with the Maker Studio is we have a whole collection of patented tri-mesh stencils. This whole process is patented because it allows you to be able to get the look and detail of silk screening with our stencils. But here's the exciting thing. You can use our gel ink, you can use our chalk art, with these stencils. You can use our Rescue Restore paint with these stencils. So it opens it up to a whole new world, whether it be on fabric or wood or metal or whatever, glass, whatever. It makes it a lot of fun because we want to be able to offer you as many options as possible to be able to be creative. So if you're watching this, if you like learning, if you like making things, give us some love, give me some hearts, let me know that you're watching, ask questions. It is 10 o'clock Central Standard Time here in Memphis, Tennessee on a rainy Monday morning. So I am here to be able to answer your questions that you might have as I'm working on something. But also, if you're watching it after this has been played live, please do #replay. We want to know that you're seeing it and where we can stay connected and you want more of it. So this is another kit that we have available on a Maker Studio. Of course, you can buy all the products that we have individually, but we do these Maker Mondays and they have kits in them. So for a while, we're just trying to see if you like these kits. That's something else we'd love for you to share with us. That we've put these together with some sampling of some of the product to be able to keep the price point around $39 to $49. This simple Sassy Tote, don't you love that name, Simple Sassy? It's a really fun project, and you get your tote, your stencil, 3 colors of gel ink, a spreader, and a recipe card for $39, guys. That's such a bargain. You think about how many times have you gone into a retail store and you spend $100 and you get out and you don't have any project that you can complete. This you do. So it makes it affordable, easy, and fun. We ship it to your door. You don't have to go out and get anything, and you'll even have product left over. So this was another kit that we had done a pillow, and it shows you how the detail is so beautiful with the inks on a pillow like this. So but even though we're just working on a tote today, you can be doing this on a baseball cap. You could do it on a little cosmetic bag. You could do it on maybe your backpack, your child's backpack. You can use these inks on any surface that you want to be able to make permanent. And I'll go over that in just a minute. So in this kit, you're going to receive this oversized stencil, which in itself, this is a bargain. I'm just telling you right now, to be able to get the tote, this oversized stencil, and then these 3 gel inks, it's a bargain, and it's shipped to you. So I want to be able to show, these are the 3 gel inks that we're going to be working with today as far as a blue, a red, and a pink, because we're going to work with mixing these together to be able to get a hot pink color, which is going to be another skill that you're going to learn. All right, so the other thing that you're going to notice on here, see how we laid this out? We've actually cut the stencil up, so you can do that. Some people may want to use it all together, maybe on a board. So you could adhere this on a board and then use our chalk art, not the chalk ink, on a piece and then have it as a sign in your house. But then I want you to be able to cut it up and to create all kinds of things with it. There's a question, yes?
Patricia wants to know, how do you recommend heat setting on an acrylic tumbler? She heat sets her mugs in the oven.
Yes, you can heat set mugs in the oven. On acrylic tumblers, you cannot heat set them. So we enjoy them for a long time. Matter of fact, Laurie, do you mind showing me? I want to show them the birthday ones we created. We have an adorable birthday stencil, and you'll notice we kind of have a little mock-up type store behind me here with some of our stencils. And I think I'm going to grab this one. This is another one of our stencils that we have. It's our happy birthday stencil. Look at that. So
on the acrylic, it seems to adhere.
yeah, and on this acrylic, the ink actually adheres really, really well. So of course, if you took a key or if you took your nail and you really scratched it really hard, it may come off, but you can wash it, you can hand wash it. You don't need to put these in the dishwasher anyway, because these are acrylic and they'll actually shrivel up. But hand washing them, they do beautifully, but you can't heat set them. But I love this birthday stencil. Is that the cutest? We did come back, that's a whole other project, but that's just some sides with an eraser and our gold leaf, but I love that. All right. So I'm going to put this aside, and we're going to focus today on our simple Sassy Totes. So we're going to show you how you can take the stencil that you're going to get in this kit for just $39 and how you can cut it up. Don't look at it as a whole and think, oh, I really don't want to do that design. Dissect it. You can use the word to or be or simple or great or these vines. I want you to start looking and see what all is in this and how you can dissect it and be able to use it on a lot of different surfaces and projects. All right, so what we did here, as you can tell, we kept this bottom area together. That's what is right here. And then if you like the daisies and these other flowers, we just cut them up and we placed them on here. So the other thing you're going to notice when you undo the stencil is you're going to notice that it has an adhesive back on it. So see the backing on it, it's glossy. The top part of it, it's kind of a polypropylene material. And here I go, I never wear my glasses and I always have trouble seeing. All right, so you're gonna have to get a little area so you can pull it apart. See the shininess of that adhesion material? You see how it kind of pulls my skin just a little bit. We try not to make sure it's too adhesive because we want to be able to use it on paper. We want to be able to decorate bags for different holidays or gifts or make our own stationery or whatever. Yes, it's a sickness. It's like you can think of stuff you can do all the time and it makes it so much fun. All right, so I'm going to pull this apart. I'm going to hold on to this, and I'm also going to keep the bag that it came in because it's going to allow me to be able to put it back in there. So look at this. I can place this like this, and I'm going to lay it down, and I'm just going to press it into the fabric, okay? So the same thing with this one. Now you're going to notice, see there's like a little bump under here because of where that pleat is. I kind of want to pull that out. I want to make sure that this is laying flat. The other thing is, if you have a piece of smooth or like foam cord, not cardboard because cardboard's corrugated and it's going to have lines in it, but maybe some foam core or some paper to be able to place underneath it when you're working on another kind of fabric. It's good to be able to have it to where it won't bleed through. This canvas tote is really heavy duty, it's really thick, it's very durable, and part of the reason in creating these is we wanted you to be able to shop. We want to get rid of plastic bags out there and we want to be able to recycle and use this. So take this to Whole Foods, take this to Aldi's, wherever it is that you shop, and get your food and reuse it over and over again. So you can just lay these wherever you want. It's your preference. You can cut these up. Now remember, here's the other great thing about the stencils that we have here at Maker Studio. They're reusable. So you can wash these. I usually keep a little Tupperware container next to me with some water in it. just warm tap water, and you can just throw them in there and wash them. So I'll lay that there, have that little, you know, that kind of connecting and going up in there. Let me connect that just a little bit more. All right, so are there any questions? Are we good?
I heard somebody ask about using the gel inks as opposed to chalk arts on plastic chargers. Which one is better?
You could. You definitely could. That wouldn't be a problem. The nice thing about, people will say, well, what's the difference between the chalk art and the gel ink? Well, the gel ink has been formulated, guys, to go on fabric. It will be permanent. It's going to take about 2 to 4 hours to dry. And once that dries and it's in place, then I'm going to take a cotton rag, preferably one that doesn't have any type of lint, or not like a towel. It needs to be a lint-free rag like this. And then you'll lay it down on top of it, not with the stencil. You're going to lay it down on top of the ink like this once it's dried, 2 to 4 hours. And then you're going to heat set it. Heat setting it is what's going to make it go down into the fibers, and it's going to be permanent. If you don't heat set it, it's not going to last as long. It's going to have a tendency to fade over a period of time. All right, so
What temperature do you suggest?
as a rule, we need it to be between 225 and 250, not more than that. And if it's not as hot, it won't have a tendency to set it into the fibers. And then from that, I would usually say, do this bag. We're just talking about this simple Sassy Tote. We want to pull it inside out, wash it in cool water, and then it'll either allow it to dry just laying out. You know, this is 100% cotton, and it will have a tendency to shrink. So don't put it in a hot dryer. Things shrink. Sometimes I don't know if it's my clothes shrinking or if I just need to lose weight. But that dryer is not our friend. Stuff shrinks. So just take care of it. Make sure that that it's in a cool dryer, and that you don't. It'll last a lot longer on you. It won't fade as bad. All right. So let's get our 3 colors that we have over here. So we've got our blue here that is our bouquet of flowers, and then we also have a red and a pink. That way we're going to mix this together to do a hot pink on our simple. Part of the reason we did that, let's just look at the colors really quickly. There's something called LRV, a light reflective value, the amount of light that's reflected off of a color. And the value of it can also have a visual weight. Now here comes my teacher. I want you to be able to learn something. There's visual weight to this because this is a medium value of this blue. It's medium to a little bit darker, so it's weighty. So the red is also about the same kind of weight. We talk about a visual weight, but we wanted this to be pink because pink was complementary with this blue. It was a complementary color. So we thought we need a hot pink. So we thought we'll just take a red and a pink and mix it together and make a hot pink. That way, these are complementary colors, but also the light reflective value, that weight, they look beautiful together. So we think about all these type things when we put these kits together for you. So that way you've got something that you know and love, and it's easy and affordable. All right, so this is a spreader that you will get in your kit. We actually cut it in half. They come really big, and we cut this in half just because these designs are kind of small. And you're going to just load up a little bit of the gel ink like this. Now you're going to lay it down kind of like you're spreading icing on a cake. As a rule, I'm right-handed, so I'm going to hold this with my left hand and I'm going to spread it. Now the other thing that you're going to notice with these beautiful patented stencils is the fact that, let's use this one as an example. See that mesh? Can you see my finger through there? But there's still a mesh material under there. So I am pushing this ink through this mesh. I'm gonna lay that back down. I love that they are adhesive and I can position them and they're gonna stay in place. I can wash these when I'm finished. I wanna stay away from that edge. You may want to put a piece of tape there. You do not want to get this on this fabric that you're working on because this ink is a permanent ink. But I love the fact that now we have monogram stencils. with the alphabet that if you want to, you can monogram your tea towels. You can monogram your kitchen towels. You can monogram your clothes. Guys, think about our kids going to camp. I don't know about you, but I always dreaded my kids going. I loved them going to camp. They loved going to camp. I didn't like putting their name on everything because that took so much time. You can monogram them with this ink. You can put their name on it. All right, I got just a little bit on there. So I'm gonna make sure this is all cleaned up. I wanna get the excess off. I'm gonna put it back in there. Now, this is the container that you're gonna get in your kit. Look how little I used. Tiny, you're gonna have a lot left over. Make sure too that you put your tops back on it. You don't want it to dry out. And so I'm gonna lift. Sometimes I'll take just the little edge of my spreader. Look at that. How easy is that? Now, I'm gonna take a little bit of cleaner really quickly and I'm gonna try to get that off. But on camera, I'm not going to. I'm just gonna go on and leave that as it is. But when you're working on that at home, we have a furniture cleaner that, and I know it's like, you're like, well, that's a furniture cleaner, Amy, but it will get that ink off there really quickly if I work within, say, 5 minutes or so. But strictly because I'm working on this, teaching you how to do this in this amount of time, we're gonna go on and we're gonna talk about how to mix colors. All right, so I'm going to take this particular spreader that I've got. I'm just gonna wipe it off.
We have another question.
Okay.
When you use the gel art ink on glass, can it be made permanent?
You know, the whole intention for this with the ink is for it to be made for fabric. So right now, it can't be totally permanent. I'm working on something. I can't tell everybody, but that's the teacher in me. I get excited and I want you to be able to know what we're working on. But it can be hand washed, it can be used. You know, the cool thing about it is you can go back in and you can touch it up. That way you can redo it. So enjoy it. Don't worry about the permanency of it because we do use that here. I would not put it in the dishwasher. I would wash it by hand and you can use it over and over again. We do that here too. All right, but you can't heat set it and expect for that to be baked in. You're putting it on top, but I love that. It does allow us a lot of versatility. All right, so I'm gonna take just a plastic spoon, metal spoon, it's not gonna matter. And I'm gonna take a little bit of my red ink. I'm gonna use a different spoon. I'm gonna take a little bit of pink. Now, as a rule, when you've got a really dark color, whether it's a dark gray, whether it's a black, you wanna be very careful. My pink is my main color, so I'm gonna start with my pink. Just take a little bit of this red off like this. Don't mix it all together until you get the color that you want to be able to have. So remember the value of what we're wanting. We're wanting a really strong pink, hot pink, to be able to go with this blue. I joke sometimes and tell people, one of the classes I took in college, when I went back to college for the second time, and I was studying fine arts and business, was we had to mix just black and white all semester, where we had 10,000 colors between or not 10,000, I don't remember how many. It was to go from scale of just white all the way to black, and just that gradual change to a gray scale, from just a little grayer to a little darker and I was just wanting to get all the way to the dark gray. But just seeing how just a tiny bit of this red in with this pink now gives you a hot pink color. So I think I need to add just a little bit more. I'm gonna take just a little bit out of here. Mix that together. You know, the cool thing about it is the ink does go a long way. Make sure you mix up ample enough on here, because you'll never be able to mix quite the same color again. This is like palette painting. But I don't need very much to do this word. I'm gonna add just a little bit more, and I'll be about finished. All right. All right, so I'm gonna take my spreader and I'm gonna load up my beautiful pink ink. And then I'm just gonna lay it down. You know, you can also do ombre effects with your inks. You can come in and blend, go from a light pink to a darker pink on your actual stencils. How are we on questions?
Just got one.
Okay.
What do you do with the excess after applying?
Well, in a situation like this, I'm not really going to have a whole lot of excess left. You know, if I've got, see, I need my clean slate. I'm not going to have a whole lot, but like if I'm working with that same color, I'll just put it back in these little containers. As a rule, if you're working with the tubes, you can't put it back in the tube, but you can get little sample containers like this so that way you can save any excess that you have. But you see how incredibly far it goes. And I will be honest with you, I probably need to put my glasses on when I do this so I can see the edges a little bit better.
Jody wants to know if you can use the stencils again.
Absolutely, Jody, you can use these stencils again. Could I have just a little thing of water? I'm going to show them as far as how to be able to clean these stencils. Yes, you can clean these. You can clean them and use them again and again and again. Now,
Is this package on the website to purchase?
it is on the website to purchase. We've made it so easy for you. All right. So see, if I wanted to, if I had a little container like this, I can just put it back off in it. You use very, very little. So you see how little I used. But that's part of doing your project. These will go a long, long way. This actually comes in the kit. They're little samples, but you see how very little you're going to need in order to be able to do your tote bag. All right, so I'm going to take up my stencil. Love it! Take a glance over here. It's going to dry darker. Your bag and what it is that you're working on, especially that pink, is going to dry to a lot darker pink. And it's going to allow you to be able to see. You can make all these custom colors. You can be known for something. If you have an Etsy shop, a maker studio is your friend because it allows you to be able to be very versatile in everything that you're making. Now, I just took this off my tote. You see the ink as far as what was left and kind of what it looked like. This is just regular warm tap water. And I'm just going to lay the stencil down in here. It doesn't matter whether the adhesive side. And I usually like using a natural seaweed sponge. Look how I'm pressing across that stencil like this.
Jacqueline said, I love it.
Just to be able to get off of my stencil. Look at that. See, the ink's gone. Turn that around. The ink's gone. Now, here's the other thing I want you to do. I want you to be able to have a countertop, whatever that you're working on, and just allow it to air dry. A lot of people make the mistake. They come in and they get paper towels and they lay them on paper towels, they allow it to dry. I want you to allow this to dry adhesive side up. And if you want to, you can pat it just a little bit with a lint-free rag and allow it to dry, but let it air dry. And then I want you to come back and after it's dry, put it back on its little container and then put it, your backing, and then put it back in the sleeve. Store it in this flat. That way, it's all about a process. One thing I learned in art school was the fact that take care of your tools and your tools will take care of you. And you want to make sure you store them up as far as brushes, all that type thing. So make sure you put them back in your package, store them flat, and you can use them again and again. But keep them away from fibrous materials like paper towels because those fibers are going to get in that adhesive backing and it won't last as long. But the thing is too, when you are working with the Rescue Restore paint, which is a paint that we have for furniture, the stencils are not going to last as long because it has a tendency to get in that mesh. But as far as our inks and our chalk arts, you should be able to use them over and over again. So Are there any questions? Are we good?
Oh,
All right,
we
guys.
just-
So hopefully you saw how easy and fun it is to do this simple Sassy Tote project. Totes are great. It's something that we need to get used to. Keep them in your car when you go shopping at the grocery store or anywhere. Just fold your tote bag up, put it in your purse, and then that way whatever you buy, you're not having to use plastic bags or paper bags, and you can be conscious about our environment and stay away from those and use these over and over again. And then people are going to see it and say, that's so cute. Where'd you get it? And you get to enjoy the bragging rights. So be sure and follow us on Instagram. If you're on Facebook and you're not following us on Instagram, follow us on Instagram, vice versa. And then we will see you here back next Monday at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time for a new project for Maker Monday. Have a fantastic week, everybody.